And then Garo said, I am not a dumbass child, you don't have to treat me like one. And then I said, you could have fooled me, kid, throwing a tantrum just because you were bullied as a child, trying to make the world feel your pain. You want to make these assholes pay. Be a better person than they are and kick their asses. And then I said, I found your old bully. And he said, really? And I said, yes, we are going to visit him and I want you to beat his ass, not kill him, understood? And then Garo said, okay, are we doing this today? And then I teleported Garo right on front of an old bald businessman who is not important and he has no fighting skills or anything, he's just meaningless, but he was the man that bullied Garo as a child and I knew it because I can read minds. And then Garo asked me, where is he? And then I pointed at him and I said, that's him, the bald businessman in front of you. And then Garo said, that's him, he looks pathetic. And I said, well, this is the reality, Garo. A lot of people that peak in high school don't turn out to be anything special, they just fade away and become weak, especially bullies. They are really just insecure little cowards trying to impress their friends. And the businessman spoke and he said, Garo, is that you? Look, I'm sorry for bullying you when we were kids. And then Garo got angry and he started beating the man up and he beat the man so bad his face was now swollen and bloody. And then I pulled Garo off of him and I said, it's over, you're done. And then Garo started crying and he said, I want to go home now. And then I took him to his old house and then I used my magical key to rebuild Garo's old childhood house. And Garo said, Bang found me on the street after my parents were killed by monsters. I was lonely and he was good to me and I turned my back on him. I'm an idiot and you're right, I'm a immature man child. And then I said, I have taken care of everything, the house is yours, but you are becoming a hero. There's no in between in this war against humans and monsters. There's only a gray area for monsters that actually want to change. So if you don't change, I will kill you, Garo. That's what waits for you, and that's not a threat, that's a fact. In the reality, if you become a monster, you will die. So I propose an alternative: kill monsters with the skills you have been given or be killed by me. That's your choice and your reality. I've accepted my reality. I was born a monster and half human. Do you have any idea what that's like? My father ate one too many monsters as nourishment and I was the result of all that consumption of monster meat, all because my father couldn't afford human food. Most of the time it altered my body, and then eventually my anger and all my strength created a new transformation inside of me. The lion you see standing before you now. Some humans look at me with pure hatred in this form even though they know I'm a hero. Do you have any idea what that's like to risk my life every day only for people to still be racist and hate me? I'm half human too. I even married a monster woman and took her as my wife. I actually have 2 human wives and they loved me and had my children, but I don't show them my monster form very often. Only after I saved people in my monster form, that's when they finally started seeing me differently. They started seeing me as a hero and a savior, not a monster, and that's why I had a family. That's why I don't want to kill innocent people, because despite all their flaws I still love them. You're right, there is a great area for those that want to change and be good like me, but it's rare, Garo. Do you see what I am saying? It's just not possible for monsters to be great. They will just end up being killed by heroes like me because they are pure evil. That's the reality, Garo, not your fantasy world, and I will make you understand that even if I have to beat it into you. So what's it going to be, kid? Are you going to be a monster as a hero, or are you going to be a monster against the heroes? Because there's no gray area for that. And then Garo said, I'm going to be a monster as a hero, and I said, wise decision, maybe there's hope for you after all, kid. And then finally Garo started to train seriously. After I told him my training method, I told him to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 100 burpees and a 10-kilometer run. I told him to do it every single day for at least 2 years and practice his martial arts movements. And then Garo said, I saw you running around the planet at super speed on the TV. Are you really that strong? And I said, yes, Garo, I trained every day for 10 years. I never stopped. I got so strong that nothing hard bothers me anymore, and eventually the same thing will happen to you. I told you that training method for a reason. No one ever completes it except for those that have an unbreakable will, like Moomin Rider for example. He wouldn't give up no matter what, and that turned him into one of the strongest heroes, and he rides a reinforced bike.